Hi guys, welcome back. So we are going to be looking at relative frequencies of a two-way table. Now we talked about this earlier in the chapter, kind of reviewing from Math 7. Now we're going to have a filled-in two-way table for ourselves already, okay? So we have men, women in what sport they enjoy playing, basketball, baseball, tennis, swimming, okay? Now we want to find the relative frequencies. Now there's two ways to find the relative frequencies. And you'll see I bolded this. So we have two questions and they actually say the same thing, okay? So one says relative frequency to compare and describe the distribution of genders among each sport, and that's capitalized or bolded. And then it says find the relative frequencies to compare the difference of distributions of favorite sports among each gender. So that part's very important. So whatever the among each part is, that's the total we divide by. Okay, so I've taken the liberty, I took this table and just took the numbers in it and I started dividing. So we're just going to take the men in 16 basketball and do 16 divided by 18 to find the relative frequency. So 16 divided by 18 is going to be 88.8 repeating. Okay, and we can round that to 88.9 if we'd like. Our percentages will just be slightly off there. And then we're going to do 2 divided by 18, which is going to give me 1.11 repeating. Okay, so again, I just took the men and women and I divided it by the total in each sport, since it said among each sport right here. I'm dividing it by the total number in each sport. Okay, so we're going to do that again. So again, the total in baseball is 33, so we're going to do 27 divided by 33, which would be 82% if we round. And then we're going to do 6 divided by 33, so which would be about 18%. So what this is doing is saying how many men versus women play basketball. Okay, so 88% of men play versus 11% of women. Okay, here it's saying 82% of men play baseball versus 18% women. So more men prefer to play baseball than women. Tennis, let's try tennis. So we're going to do divide by 21. Again, I'm looking at that total. 5 divided by 21 is about 24%. And 16 divided by 21 is 76%. And again, I actually don't even have to divide this one because I know these two percentages have to add up to 100. Okay, again, we're going to do 12 divided by 28. So 12 divided by 28 is going to be 43%. 16 divided by 28 would give me 57%. And again, this would add up to 100 if we added them together. Okay, and that just says that 43% of men prefer swimming versus 57% of women who prefer swimming. So again, I divided by the sports column because it says among each sport. We're going to look at the same table, but this time it says favorite sports among each gender. So we're going to divide by the gender total. So we're looking at 60 and 40. So we're going to say how many percent of men like to play basketball versus baseball versus tennis. So because the total of men is 60, we're going to do 16 divided by 60, which would be about 27% if we round. 27 divided by 60 would be 45%. 5 divided by 60 would be 8.3%. And 12 divided by 60 would be 20%. Okay, now it should be pretty darn close to 100, but it might be a little off just because, especially this one, that we had to round a little differently. Okay, so pretty darn close to 100%, maybe slightly over, slightly under. So what we could say is out of the men, 27% like to play baseball or basketball, 45% prefer baseball, 8.3% prefer tennis, and 20% prefer swimming. So we would say men typically shy away from playing tennis, okay, is an assumption we can make from this. Now let's do the women. So we have a total of 40 women. So I'm going to do each number divided by 40. So 2 divided by 40 gives me 5%. So very few women like to play basketball in this group. 6 divided by 40. Not very much more than basketball. So we're going to have 15%. 16 divided by 40. So we're getting more and more here, which is about 40%, and 16 divided by 40 would be another 40%. So women definitely prefer tennis and swimming over basketball and baseball in this case, okay? So when you are trying to find relative frequencies, you're going to basically remake the table, okay? And you're going to divide either by the row total or the column totals, okay? So you have to read what it says among. Among each sport, you divide by the sport totals or whatever the title is. If it says among each gender, you're going to divide by the gender totals. Okay? Good luck.